messengers, if there be a messenger with him, an interpreter, one among 1,000, to show unto man his uprightness, then he, God, is gracious unto him, and saith, deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. Now we'll find out that Genesis 1 verse 1, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Verse 2, and the earth was void, filled with darkness, and waters, and the Spirit of God moved. Now I told you that was not the original way the earth was created. God don't create it void. So it was the judgment of evil that came on Lucifer that affected the earth, and everything freezed. You find out that certain things in Genesis 1 that you notice. God did not create the sun nor the moon and the stars. They were the word wasn't create like man. Man was created. So you want to understand this, you read books like Job chapter 9 and Job 38, if I'm not mistaken. And you see clearly that actually God just told these ordinances to cease. God told them to cease, and that's why you see that God did not create Genesis 1 verse 2 void and all and shapeless and without inhabitant. You see, God used the word for man. He said, replenish the earth. Meaning it was replenish. Can you spell replenish? It was blemished before. So we see that also in Job we could see the sun sealed, that they shouldn't give light on the earth. Now, having said this, I just want to really take this, verse this, that Genesis chapter 1 is a complex book. God was not creating the earth. The earth had already been, God was reforming the earth, reshaping it back to its original state, and creating things He desires on the earth and for the use of man. And man was also new on the earth. Man was to come on the earth new. Find out that there wasn't rain when man was here. God watered the earth from the ground. God watered the earth from the ground. You find out that if God watered the earth from the ground, there was nothing like season. There was nothing like season. Rainy season, winter, autumn, no such thing. Why? Because for there to be rain falling from the sky, then season has taken its place. But when there was no rain falling, it was watered from the earth. There was no season. And season only takes place due to these ordinances: the sun, the moon, and the stars. I told you that they are like great gears that makes up that calculates the volume of life of the system. The solar system we are occupying now. So we see that certain things were not actually in play when Adam was occupying Eden. Now I want to quickly continue on the objectivity of the beginning. We now see Lucifer has lost power, his position, but Lucifer did not lose his wisdom. Lucifer didn't lose his wisdom. God did not take that from him. God only stripped him of his position in his kingdom. How did Lucifer get back to power? And Lucifer was just like in a house arrest, was tamed, you know. Now Lucifer get back to power. So Adam and Eve were created, placed in the garden, Eden, and everything was going fine. Adam and Eve only knew good. Now remember, God said, don't eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. They didn't know what evil meant. Now like God said, knowledge, knowing something, hearing something is different from experiencing something. I will bring that down to a lot of believers. A lot of believers are mimickers. A lot of believers are photocopies. A lot of them are just follow. I will explain certain things to you. Believers are like a man that came to tell a group of men, have you seen the latest Benz? The Benz can fly. The Benz wheels can be packed into itself and float on water. This Benz can extray the building. And people are like, wow, and they applaud this man. Oh wow, this man has knowledge. But the truth about this man is that this man actually had it from another man. This man had all he just said from another man. This congregation is applauding this man for a knowledge he mimic from another man. Now watch this. The man he had it from saw the car. Beautiful car. Latest. You know, people like latest things. Everything latest today becomes outdated tomorrow. And I don't disturb myself with life to that point. Now, watch this. This man saw the latest car. Pass information to the man. That man started spreading, and that way people start spreading. Now, most people are like tweeters. You know, birds that whistles. You know. Now, we now found out there is a man driving that Benz. See, knowledge hasn't passed, but knowledge is not experienced. The man owns the Benz, the man drives the Benz. See, that man have the experience of that Benz. That man can tell you how the engine looks like. The man can open his Benz. He's not telling you some stories about the Benz. He owns the Benz. He is experiencing it firsthand. Have you experienced God? Or someone told about God and you feel so excited about it? Have you come to experience Him yourself? Now you see, the man driving the Benz might not understand the mechanics of that Benz. Then there are men who created that Benz. Those men knows the in and out of that Benz. They understand the way it works. And those are special men that are called apostles. They understand the makeup. They understand, and the chief engineer and idea, the main idea behind it, that's God, that's Christ. Now, you driving the Benz, have certain small knowledge of how the Benz operates, but there's a man who can break down that Benz, and that's why we all have a measure of grace. The point is this: there have to be first-hand experience with God. You must have an experience with God. Now back to Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve was told about a tree that has the knowledge of good and evil. Now they add the word evil, but they have no experience of evil. They only have a knowledge of evil. Now watch this. Adam and Eve in the garden. The truth is, it wasn't two persons in the garden. That God was in the garden, Jesus and devil was in the garden. It wasn't literally God was in the garden. They say what makes up something is the behavior of something. And the tree of life is actually the law of God. The law of God. The law of God for life. Adam and Eve was not, and they didn't have eternal life. Let no man fool you. No. I told you about trial. They were placed and they were under trial, test. They were under test. The product had to be tested. The product had to be tested. They were product created, and the product had to be tested. And this product, the testing point is their will. What would they do with their will? What are you doing with your will? What are you doing with your choice? What are you doing with your will? What are you doing with your position? I told you, your test will always come on the greatest thing you are made up of. Your wisdom. It could be power. It could be money. That's where the test will come. So they were to be tested, and God gave them His will. And the will was, if you pass this test, then you eat of the tree. You have an access to the tree of life. But don't eat of the tree of good and evil. Now, what is good and evil? It means, like I told you before, everything God has created is good. So evil is a perversion. What is adultery? Adultery is the same act a man and a woman that is married do. But why is it sin? Because it is done unlawfully. She is not your wife. You are not the husband. Or the same act. So you see, it was a lie. It is because there had to be a truth somewhere. Then it is you cajoling or perverting that truth. So we see Satan actually doesn't have one original idea. The Bible calls Satan the father of lies. I told you everything has a beginning. Everything has a beginning. We're going to touch that. In the objective of the beginning, we're going to see the beginning of things, the beginning of pains, the beginning of pains. So we've now seen Adam and Eve, and that will bring us to the aspect of marriage. Hallelujah. I'm going to come to the aspect of marriage. Adam and Eve. Now find out that Eve was Adam's wife, but they were married, of course. Eve was not just betrothed to Adam. Eve had been given to Adam as wife. Now, but marriage is actually not just the right with the woman, but the act with the woman. Do you catch that? Adam didn't make love to the wife or this wife. No. And anyone that touches that woman will be insane. The woman was for Adam, and Adam could touch her anytime, but Adam didn't touch her. Was it that Adam was over righteous? There wasn't an over righteous. There wasn't to compare righteousness. Was it that Adam was over holy? No. Adam was a man, wasn't born as a child. Adam wasn't born as a child. Adam was created a full-grown man, but Adam had to have what is called experience. Adam had to learn, rather, experience. And Adam was like a young child playing with a young girl, and they don't even know what they are doing. They just touch each other. They're just playing, They don't count anything. It wasn't, though there was something that would say this is a lady. I'm a guy, but there was no really deep thoughts. No deep thoughts towards that action. So Adam did not touch the wife. Remember this man Lucifer? Don't forget Lucifer. He had been demoted, not even demoted, he had been displaced out of power. Then he has turned to the devil. He made himself the devil. Now remember, he did not lose his wisdom. Remember, the man was wise and the man saw reproduction. Don't forget that. He saw reproduction taking place when he was still the boss, when God made him the boss on the earth. Now Lucifer had to now come into power, and the only way for him to come into power, what he wanted was what had been on ground: God, worship. it will want to be worshipped. So the only way for him to be God was for creation to worship him. And that was where the old thing came, the old thing of iniquity in human beings came into play. How did Lucifer do it? How did Lucifer do it? Lucifer understood reproduction. Lucifer understood sexualism. He understood it. He has seen it. And Lucifer, all he needed to do was to talk to someone that would not reason too smart. Lucifer had this ability to control you. Why? Lucifer was not just created an angel, was created an angel with position. Though he was stripped of his position in the order of the things of God, it doesn't mean the anointing of that position was not still on him. So Lucifer could still command. And you see a man telling a man, you stand there, and he stands. You move there, and he moves. You go there, and he goes. You see, it was words, but the word comes with power, and that being just see himself doing that thing, acting that thing. Now Satan had that, and Satan now being evil, being the devil, now Lucifer being the devil, now manipulated a being. The being was an animal, the serpent. The serpent, if you understand, was an upright animal because God caused it and it became a snake, a crawling animal. So originally it wasn't crawling, and it wasn't a dragon, it wasn't a lizard, because the Bible says it was the wise above all the beasts. It was wiser than all the beasts. So it was higher than the beast. It was upright. It looks like man, but it was not man, because man is the only being created in the image and likeness of God. Now, the serpent was not inspired by Lucifer, and went to a being that doesn't really reason too fast, the woman. And yes, the right reason, because Adam was a very, very replica of God. Adam could not be reason slow. Adam was completely like his father. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That brings us to Christ, you know. Christ is the creator. Christ is the expression of God. Christ is God. So who actually comes down in the evening to talk with Adam? That's Christ. Praise the living God. Now, if you want to understand this better, you see, a lot of people, you always look at the flesh of Jesus Christ. Go study about Melchizedek. Melchizedek had no father, no mother, no beginning of days, no end of days. Who was that person? He had flesh. Where did he get it from? He was called the priest of the Most High. He was called the king of Salem, the king of peace. Who is that person? Now you understand what I'm saying about God, the Father being the essence, then using the presence. The presence could be fire, could be light, could be flesh. Now only those that are genuinely his children that would understand this. They go beyond whatever that has been used. This is just to express himself, but you can't separate that from him. Now, when they hear his word, they know it is God speaking. Now, so Lucifer, praise the living God. Lucifer, what did Lucifer do? Lucifer had to come into power. And what did Lucifer do? Lucifer now possessed, not necessarily entering into the animal. Lucifer is an angel, not a demon. but could control the mind by speaking to it, and the mind of that animal became corrupt because his word was contrary to the very make-up of that animal. So that animal had become a corrupted fire. Let me use the computer language. And now, to speak to this woman, the woman is another man's wife, but the man have not touched her. That nonetheless she's still the wife. Now he has the right to touch her. The Bible says, if it's always said in First Corinthians, say if you have not touched your virgin, or if you feel you should marry there means to have sexual activity with her. You can decide, oh, I don't want to do this. Let me leave that. Now, what do we now see? We now see Lucifer have defied the file of this creation, defied it, and this creation, the serpent now talking to this woman, and the woman, the kind of being the woman is, God created the woman. God created a woman with inquisitive, with a character to inquire, a character to know. There's nothing wrong, because we are all creations that wants to know, but she's a special one. She wants to actually know. She wants to know, and there's nothing wrong in knowing, but you must control all things. And Lucifer took hold on that part, that good part, and used the good part against the woman, and that was how the woman fell into adultery against the husband. Now remember, what the woman did is called confusion, according to the book of Leviticus. Sleeping with an animal is called confusion, and in the law of God, the judgment is to kill the animal and the woman. Now, God is not a God of injustice. That will bring us to the objectivity of the beginning of the subtopic of predestination. Now remember,